Life is beautiful. Hello, all. Thank you for watching this video. First and foremost, this is my first time recording, and it really shows because my audio just sounds very off. Regardless, I felt it was best to just still upload this anyway because everyone has a beginning. This happens to be mine. And I hope you enjoy this journey I'm having on creating movie reviews and stuff. So, with that said, if you watched it all the way, thank you for viewing it, and I hope you enjoy it all the way. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my review for Sinners, a movie that came out in 2025. I saw this movie back when it was out in theaters, and I enjoyed it so much that I want to make a review on it and have it be the first review on my channel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my thoughts, the things I think are the weak points, as well as the strong points, and as well as give a rating for it. Rest assured, even though this film's been out for a while, this review will be spoiler free. So let's start with Ryan Coogler, best known for movies like Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and Creed. He wrote, produced, and directed this film. And with the support of Warner Brothers, he was able to make something unique that's not a sequel or a spinoff of another movie. And in interviews, Ryan stated that his inspiration for this film comes from the memory of his late uncle and his interest in the 1930s Mississippi culture with the blues. So the movie stars Michael B. Jordan. He plays twin brothers named Smoke and Stack, also known as the Smokestack Twins. And it also stars Miles Caton as their cousin, Sammy, who is a blues guitarist. Now, the story begins with the Smokestack Twins returning to their hometown of Mississippi to start a juke joint for the area where they can dance, drink, and listen to music. But things turn for worse when they get a bunch of party crashers, which also happen to be vampires. Then you find out it's kind of Sammy's fault because the movie talks about how Sammy's musical talent can connect people to the spirit world. And that's what attracted the vampires to the juke joint, like a moth to a flame. Also, the vampires seem to be a musical band that happens to be on tour. On the subject of musicals, this film seems to move like one. You can tell as the songs and sometimes the dance performances are treated as storytelling tools that move the story forward both visually and emotionally. And that's what makes this film so special. Ryan Coogler made a film that in its core is a 1930s period piece, but it's also a vampire thriller, as well as a musical. He took all of these themes and crafted it together into a unique idea that is quite simply a work of art. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the weak points of this film I have and just get it out of the way. Now, when it comes to the movies I watch, usually what's always an issue for me is when I'm taken out of the film, like something would happen and it'll just throw me off and causes me to start questioning what's happening in the film. Things that characters are doing that I feel is out of character, or an event happens that just feels like it just came out of nowhere, but it had to happen in order to wrap up the story and just finish it up. Having said that, I will vaguely describe this weak point for the sake of maintaining this review being spoiler free. It has to do with the ending of this film. There's like a thing that Ryan Coogler added, like a new detail on how vampires operate in this universe of Sinners. And it was never explained, but I could see why it happened because the movie had to wrap up and stuff. This issue could have been easily resolved with a quick line to just give an explanation. Nothing really full in detail, but just something vague enough to like imply why this thing that the vampires have happens. The other issue I have is how Sammy and one of the Smokestack twins handled the vampires. I won't say if they either survived or lived, but something happened that I just felt it was impossible for it to happen. But like before, it had to happen in order for the movie to end. Comment down below and I'll tell you the reason why I have these issues and go more further into detail with it. I look forward to hearing from you. Now with the negatives out of the way, I want to talk about a few of the strong points I have with this film. And one of the biggest strong points I have is Michael B. Jordan's performance in the film for playing both the Smokestack twins. Michael's talent really shines in this film as he acts as two different characters, and you can literally tell the differences between the two. Then to see him act as one and have him play off of literally himself. The other strong point for this film definitely has to be the soundtrack. I mean, the music of this film gave it so much personality. It adds to the story and sets the mood. I'd go as far as to say the soundtrack of this film is the unspoken narrator of it, or the unseen character that's part of this amazing cast. And probably the biggest strength to this film definitely has to be how the movie builds up to its ending. Most movies will falter when it reaches to its third act, but Sinners constantly raises the stakes and keep building up to a thrilling conclusion. And when you think it's over, suddenly small threads that were given throughout the story weave into a payoff at the end. Though, after you think it's over, once and for all, well, think again. If you stay with the film and watch the mid-credit scene, you will be rewarded with a satisfying finish to the film as a whole, with a beautiful message that I interpret as enjoy every moment when it happens, because you'll never know. Your day might get ruined by a vampire horde. Now, granted, there are some story beats I feel are lacking in this film. Having said that, my criticisms are not enough to diminish this film whatsoever. With that said, there are so many other strengths to this film, and I could talk about all of them, but if I do, this video will never be finished. So I welcome you to comment down below and share your thoughts on what strong points I haven't covered. I look forward to reading what you all have to say and have those conversations with you all. So aside from the weaknesses and the strengths of this film, I just want to share some random raw thoughts on it. And one of them is Ryan Coogler bringing back an old rule that vampires had and just seeing how the actors had fun playing with that rule. I also liked how Ryan presented the vampires with their glowing red eyes. There were scenes where you'd see fireflies hovering in the shadowy corners outside the juke joint in the middle of nowhere. It makes you question, am I looking at a bunch of fireflies flying in pairs of two? Or am I seeing the glowing red eyes of multiple vampires stalking the patrons of the juke joint before they feast upon them? Another idea that was added with the vampires is this concept of them being an analogy of cultural assimilation, in where the vampires would feed off anyone. It doesn't matter where their race or creed is, they'll just attack them. And after attacking them, they'll convert them into a vampire themselves and have them join this vampire hive mind with a singular thought, and that is to feed off other humans and continue to expand their vampire horde. And that's another thing I like about this film. It has all these fantastical elements, like vampires and Sammy's ability to tap into the spirit world and connect everyone's hearts to the music of the past, present, and future, while having all this grounded in the reality of 1930s Mississippi. With all that said, I hope Ryan doesn't make a sequel to this film. And I say that with all the love I have for this movie, Sinners. It's a complete package. It said everything it needed to say, and any loose ends they can give to expand on will just water the film down. With all that said, I give this film a woo! Life is beautiful. Watching Sinners reminds me of why I love the art of storytelling and seeing the film come to life on the big screen. I enjoyed the conversations I had with my friends talking about this film, discussing our favorite parts about it, as well as trying to interpret the ending of the film and talk about how much this movie sparked our imagination. After watching the film a second time, I had so much fun just seeing all the things I missed out from the first time I saw it. But even if you watch the film once, I highly recommend watching it in your lifetime. And thank you for checking out this video. If you're curious to know what other ratings I have in my system besides, woo, life is beautiful, then check this video in where I go into detail on my rating system. I plan to do more with this channel, so like, share this video, and subscribe to this channel so you can be updated on what I have going forward. In any case, I hope you look at the world with the heart of a child and the wisdom of an adult. Take care and be well.